everybody, Joshua Casper here with another tutorial. Today we're checking out the brand new Bassmaster by Loopmasters. This is Loopmasters' first VSTI, and as they are the king of samples and loops, this is a sample and loop driven instrument. One of the key benefits to that is the very low CPU usage. So it's very lightweight but very, very powerful. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this reggae bass that's on this track right here. And of course that little glitchy sound has to do with the sidechain compressor. So if I turn that off, so very low, very fat, and very perfect for reggae or this kind of hip hop reggae style track that I've got here. So let's go ahead and figure out how to make this thing start to finish. I'm gonna go ahead and come into introduction and do the initial patch. And along the way, I'm going to talk about what this synth has to offer. So right off the bat, we've got two layers of samples. So we've got a top layer and then a sub layer. But you can, of course, add a sub to the top. The way to change these, to go ahead and click on this menu. And as you can see, we've got high, low, mid, percussion, simple, and sub. And lots and lots of different samples inside of here. Quite a massive library. So we've got samples for this top and sub layer, but we also got a massive amount of presets too. I think there's over about 350 presets inside of here that are all mix ready, and they range from like hip hop to trap to house to really clean basses to more aggressive and more modulated styles. So really anything if you want to jump in and check it out. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this reggae bass. I'm going to start with the sub, come into the sub menu, and come up here to clean sub loop. For the top, I'm going to have that kind of almost acoustic bass sound that gives it a kind of attack that makes it sound a little bit more realistic, and that was called rinser inside of the mid menu. Come in, and everything is alphabetical order, so that's easy enough to find. Let's see what's happened. So not quite where we need it, but we're well on our way. So let's go ahead and adjust the attack, bring up that decay, bring that sustain way down, and maybe just push up the release a little bit. All right, maybe a little bit less. So that's on its way. Let's focus on pushing up that sub and just bringing down the level of the top using the mixer right here. So that's much better. And a couple other things before we move on here. The sub can go down an octave or up an octave if it's too low or too high. And there's also a direct out. When this is switched on, and it's switched on by default, the sub bypasses the filtering system, which is right here, and these three layer effects down here. So it's almost always a good idea to go ahead and bypass those just so your sub stays nice and clean and thick. But, it doesn't hurt to mess around sometimes. Check things out. So let's go ahead and filter out some of that wishy-washiness or some of that distortion on that top layer by using the filtering system over here. I'm going to go ahead and choose the LD24 LDR, all right, and just pull back on the cutoff just a little bit. So that's okay for now. Let's jump into a reverb and just add that just a little bit. You've got different reverb types. You've got mid and dark. I'm going to leave it on bright, turn the level up midway, and just add a little bit of size to it. And again, this is only going to be affecting this top layer, just making it sound a little bit nicer there. We do have distortion and stereo chorus. Each one of those has a number of different presets inside of it. You can turn it off or turn it on by using these buttons here at the top. Stereo chorus has a number of ones too, but I'm not going to use that for this particular patch. And I'm also not going to use the modulation system, but it is here if you need it. There's also a glide feature that has portamento or legato mode. The pitch here is for your keyboard, or you can automate this inside of your DAW, and you can set the range over here up to a full octave. And the modulation control, again, is usually for your keyboard, but you can automate that inside of your DAW, and you can set up to 3 different parameters to it and adjust the amount right here. So you can go negative or positive values. and just choose whatever you want inside of here. I'm not going to use that for this particular patch, but it's helpful to know that it's there, and it's great that it's included in the instrument. So next thing I want to do is jump over here to the frequency booster, because this is like an OTT compressor, and it really helps to shape the sound. So this is the final stage inside of the chain before the output, and I really, really dig it. So I'm going to go ahead and crank it up right around 50% just to start, boost those highs, a little bit of mids, and about halfway on the sub, and let's see how much has transformed the sound now. See how much difference that is? So there's also a filter envelope, which we can add the amount and then kind of make some adjustments here if we want to further shape that top layer. And if we didn't want to, we could just, turn the amount completely to 0. And we also have a filter LFO if we want to further shape that sound. But of course, we don't need to use it. We can just put it back to 0%. And that means it's going to be essentially bypassed, but it's just good to know that it's there. I'm going to turn the attack up on the sub so we can get rid of some of that clicky sound. And another really cool thing too, I'm not going to use it for this patch, but it's good to know, is the sample start position right here. We're looking for kind of a clicky sound right now, a kind of transient attack sound for the bass itself. But if you pull this over, you see that it's changing the start position of where the sample will begin, and you really change up a sound this way. So we got that. We can also use the randomize button to choose a different sample if we wanted to, but let's go ahead and see how this sounds in context of the track. So I think it sounds pretty good. I think it's pretty much where we want it to be. And of course, the fact that it's made inside of this VSTI, we can get in and tweak whatever we want until we find something that's absolutely perfect. But I just wanted to give you essentially a quick tutorial on how to make this kind of reggae style subby bass using Bassmaster, and give you an overview of the plugin itself. It's already available. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description. It's on sale for a little bit because it's the introductory price. Go ahead and grab it now. You won't be disappointed. I will see you next time.